What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Point2Point NHL Recap Show, Season 3, Episode 9. I'm Pascal Pryor, joined by Mark Havlock. Mark, we had American Thanksgiving last weekend. We're now into the holiday season with Christmas and stuff coming up. Any big plans for you here for the holidays or no?
No, nothing too special for the holidays. Probably gonna be working a little bit, just spending some time with family. Probably just watch like the World Juniors a ton and stuff like that. How about you, dude?
I'm doing the typical going out west to Calgary for Christmas, so we'll be out there at the cabin. I plan on getting a Flames game in. I believe the Flames play the Boston Bruins on the 29th of December, so I'm going to that game with my cousins. We've kind of made it a yearly tradition now. So shout out to Kyle. I don't know if you're listening to this, but shout out to Kyle because he always does the tickets. That's my cousin's husband. So he always gets the tickets for Christmas, which is nice and easy. We just tell him what day, and next thing you know, it's hey, I got the tickets. I'm like, hell yeah, thank you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the holidays, man. I got to start watching some Christmas movies, getting into the spirit of things. So it's gonna be a busy month here with the holidays and the NHL, and then we'll get into the Olympics after that. Also, World Juniors, we got that coming up as well, right? So we're really starting to get busy here around the hockey world. Mark, let's get right into things here. First team I want to talk about, it's the Colorado Avalanche. They only have one loss in regulation this season, and they lead the NHL with 42 points. Does this team remind you at all to the cup winning team? Because when I look back to the Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche, honestly, I see a lot of similarities in that team and this year's team. How do you kind of compare the two, though?
Honestly, dude, now you say that, like, yeah, I actually do see some similarities. I never really thought about it in that way, but like, honestly, the first thing I think of is like they kind of ran more of a tandem in net with like Francouz had to step in with Kemper got hurt in the playoffs a couple years ago. The decore's looking really solid. I think that overall, even since they won the cup, it has been solid, but I think there kind of has been holes at times. Like, man, I even look at a guy like, who's impressed me so much. People might not really know a lot about is like Sam Malinsky on D. Have you seen him play? He's like a third pairing right-handed D. He's been playing like the left side most of the time too because they got four righties, but he impresses me, dude. Sometimes I think it's Makar, and it's just like a guy that's smaller than Makar and just obviously doesn't have the same brain or move at the same speed as him, but he just kind of looks like a mini Makar out there. I love him.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is they wanted to address their depth. Like that was the whole reason of the Rantanen deal. And I feel like their depth has been coming up really big for them as well. So yeah, I feel like there are a lot of similarities in this team and the cup winning team. Obviously we're still very early in the season, right? Like, I mean, they're putting themselves in a great situation to win their division and probably even win the President's Trophy. But I don't think there's like a guarantee that they're going to be like winning the cup this year, like by any means. Like they're definitely a favorite, no doubt. But
Yeah.
I mean, we probably would have been saying the same thing about the Bruins 3 years ago, right? Like, they're put themselves in a pretty good situation. I mean, they can probably still go out and make some additions at the trade deadline, but no doubt they're a threat. They looked incredible against us on Saturday. We didn't stand a chance right from the start. The thing is, too, it's like Blackwood's back. They got both goalies kicking while Wedgewood's playing really well. Blackwood had back-to-back shutouts last week. Them as a team, they had 3 straight shutouts. So it seems like everything's going right for them, but hopefully, I don't want to say this is a negative, but I mean, I hope for their sake that they do like have some have some adversity at some point. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes when you don't face that adversity in the season and it kind of just hits you in the playoffs, that's when kind of things go wrong. So it's not like I'm cheering for them for a downfall, but you kind of almost hope that they go through like maybe like a 4-game losing streak or maybe fight off some injuries and you know what I mean at some time. So I don't know. Do you kind of agree with that, or do you think that if they potentially could win 65 games, like it's fine? Like what do you think?
Look, I wouldn't be too worried if they did win like 65 games and they were President's Trophy winners and they had an absolute great year. But like it would be good to see them have a little bit of adversity at some point. I will say though, like this is a team that's gonna have a decent amount of guys going to the Olympics. So it's like maybe that's like you know what I mean? It's like in a normal NHL season we want to see that adversity within the season where it's like, man, for this season with the Olympics, like it could be for Colorado, like that is them losing a bunch of players to go to the Olympics, right? And those guys having to play a bunch of extra games. For me, when I look at Colorado, the one thing that really stands out this year compared to the teams that they've had since they won the Stanley Cup is like they got a good amount of depth within this lineup, right? Like when they won the Stanley Cup, it was the same thing. They had a decent amount of depth in that lineup. And then with the salary cap not going up, they couldn't really keep a lot of those players around, right? Of course, Kadri leaves and he goes to Calgary. We're now, when I look at this Colorado lineup, like it does feel like they are a pretty deep team again. You mentioned their goaltending tandem. Like their goaltending tandem is phenomenal. I feel like ever since they won the Stanley Cup, like they had a lot of issues in their net with Gorgiev and so on. Where now it's like you got two goaltenders that have shown so far this season that they're very reliable, and I wouldn't be worried about throwing either of those guys in for a playoff start. Right, like you got Brock Nelson, he's looked really well so far. You still got the big dogs in McKinnon, Makar. I want to put Martin Nichas in that category as well, because let's be honest, like ever since he's been in Colorado, he's looked like he's like an elite of the elite players. And then for me, like their third line of Jerry Olofsson, Parker Kelly, I think that's where I see the biggest difference this year compared to the last couple of years. Like the last couple of years, they still had some good players on their second line, but their third line, it felt like it was really lacking. Where this year, like their third line, bringing Jack Drury over in the trade, he's looked pretty decent. Victor Olofsson, he's looked surprisingly good this season. I think it's 16 points so far on the season. Like, not really something I would fully expect from Olofsson, but when I look at this team, man, like I don't want to say that they're gonna win the Stanley Cup, but it does feel a lot different this season compared to the last couple of seasons, where it's like it feels like this year, like man, they are the team, to beat right now. Where the last couple of seasons it's kind of been like Colorado's up there, but they do have some holes in their lineup. I feel like they have addressed those holes phenomenal over the past little bit. Mark, where would you say the kind of holes in this lineup are, if there's any?
Yeah, no, honestly, I was trying to think of that answer while you were talking, because I do agree that they have filled a lot of these holes. The depth has looked good. Like, honestly, I really like Parker Kelly. I think he's been a
Yeah.
really effective bottom sixer for a couple of years now. Like, one other guy that I feel like's had a great year, like he's chipping in like half a point a game, but I think his defense has been really good as Ross Colton, and he kind of has like
Yep.
grindiness to his game too. Like he's very noticeable out there. So it's not really just the big dogs that are getting it done. Like they are getting some depth help. Like Landeskog has kind of picked it up. Like I'm sure it took him a little bit to kind of get going, at least in accordance to producing. You know what I mean? Like even right now, like I look at it's kind of hard to like I don't really know the answer to your question, I guess, because the thing is it's like they probably will go out and address some sort of depth of deadline, regardless if it's like a guy that's going to play every game or if it's going to be a guy that's there for a fill in. But one other guy that hasn't played this year yet for injury is Logan O'Connor,
Yeah.
who's a really solid two-way forward. Like, I guess maybe the one thing I would say is maybe for insurance, I'd probably look to get another center. Like even if it's like a fourth liner or like a more of a lower caliber 3C, just because like last year you did have Charlie Coyle and you didn't really like replace that in any means. It's not like you're missing him a ton, but you know what I mean? I would say just for injury sake and maybe even performance sake, once the playoff comes, I'd probably be looking at like another depth centerman, but I don't think it's like a glaring need that they need to address at the moment. You know what I mean? And I guess one other area I've always been kind of, I don't know how I feel about Sam Girard, to be quite honest with you. Like he's a smaller puck moving defenseman. I have heard that they've tried to get rid of him at times, and there's just not enough value out there. If they could somehow get an upgrade on him, maybe, but at the same time, it's not like he's having a bad year
Yeah.
by any means. You know who I honestly love for them to go out and get? If I don't know how you make this trade work, but I think this would look really good for the future and even the now. Imagine they could acquire Pavel Mintyukov.
Yeah, dude, that would look really good. I don't know really what assets they kind of have to give up in a trade like that because Anaheim would want probably a decent haul back, and I don't really know if Colorado could provide that, but that would be a great fit, dude.
I just like I think it's more like if you're gonna keep Gerard, maybe not. But if you're trying to move on from him, and if you could get Mityakov in this year, like he's still on his ELC, right? So it's like you're bringing
Yeah,
another guy in who's not making a lot of money. As of right now, it's like I probably think he's looking at a bridge deal next year, right? So it's like it probably wouldn't even cost the Avs too much, like just for a different shakeup in your top four and have a different guy running maybe your second power play, right? I don't know. I ever since he became available, I feel like there's a couple teams that like I even think the Rangers are a nice fit for Minchikov if they can make that work. They've been a trade partner with the Ducks a couple times, the Rangers. So I don't know. I like that fit if they could make that work, dude. I don't know. It seems like it would be a nice younger player to come in. You know what I mean? Like they have a
yeah,
lot of experience, but like you still got to kind of set yourself up for the future, right? And have some young guys if you can.
yeah. And for me, looking at this lineup, like I don't think there's that many holes, if any. The one area I would like to see them for sure upgrade is add in some forward depth, add in a little bit of forward depth. I know they're kind of missing some players right now, like Gavin Brindley's out, Nichushkin's out. You mentioned Logan O'Connor, like they're kind of missing those three guys. I would like to see them add some depth to help them out. So if they are missing guys in the playoffs, you're not having to throw in some of the players that they're throwing in right now. But yeah, well, looking at this team, dude, it's a deep team and they have a lot of top end talent as well. Like this is a team I think this season that really is, as of right now, the team to beat out there. There are some other pretty good teams though.
I just think there's such a threat with the tandem, right? And it's
Yeah,
like they got the big dogs up front and at the and on defense, and the depth is just clicking, right? Like, dude,
it's
I
like
love
this.
that. Have you seen that Zakhar Bardakov guy play, that Russian guy? He's
No,
been like in and out of the lineup, but he's just like a ball of energy flying out there, this Russian guy. So it's like, dude, even like their depth guys, it's like they're noticeable like every night, I feel like on Saturday, like McKinnon was good and all that, and Natchez and Makar had an assist, but like their depth killed us, dude, and Brock Nelson.
I'm looking. I'm looking at it right now. Nathan McKinnon, he's at a +30 right now. Like that's crazy, man. If he
Dude,
keeps this,
right now he's winning the Hart. He's going to be winning the Art
yeah,
Ross. He's going to be sweeping some of the awards this year. I think if he keeps this up,
he's probably gonna win the Rocket at this point.
yeah, him or
He's got
Morgan Geeky.
Dude, he's got 20 goals in 25 games. But it's crazy to think that he's a +30 because it's like if he keeps it up, he might be +100 at the by the end of the year. I don't know if we've ever seen that. I don't know what the record is.
And that's the
Uh,
funniest thing is too. It's because the plus minus is mattering because, dude, their power play somehow isn't even great right now. Like they're like it's like they're like league average. Their
yeah.
power play. They've actually been like that's the one area they've been kind of like somewhat struggling in. And it's
Well, it
kind of
helps.
like I mean they got a couple power play goals on the weekend, but I mean it's kind of surprising when they have so many weapons, right? And it's not working. So it's like I don't know, maybe that's their adversity right now.
Just get the power play going. I mean, hey, that'd be if I was a team, that's some good adversity to have. Not too much. I want to stay in the Central Division, Mark, and take a look at the standings, go all the way, keep on scrolling to the very bottom where the Nashville Predators are. Not only are they bottom of the standings in the Central Division, but they're also bottom across the entire NHL. So I got something to cheer about. My Calgary Flames are not in last. The Nashville Predators are. I got to ask you, Mark, what's next for this team? Because I know Barry Trotz, he came in a couple seasons ago. They signed all those guys in free agency, and it was like, oh no, we're not a rebuilding team, we're a retooling team. We're still gonna be making we're still gonna be a threat out here, and here we are for a second straight season of them being towards the bottom of the standing. So I want to know, Mark, what do you think is next?
I think that you're just to a point where you got to sell everyone, dude. Like anybody that's kind of willing or wanting to go. I mean, first you probably just start with your unrestricted free agents. Like, there's really no need to re-sign any of them, regardless if you like their play or not. Like, they're at an age and to a point where what is the point of bringing back like an Eric Holla or Michael Bunting? Like, I don't, not that they're not players around the league that could be useful to teams, but as an organization, it just doesn't really make much sense to do so. So first,
Yeah.
I'm shipping off all my UFAs. Um, you can get something for Holla, you can get something for Bunting, you can get something for Cole Smith. They're not on ridiculous contracts. You have retention slots too if you want to make it work and get a little bit more. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I like Michael McCarron as a fourth line, big center. Even if he's a 13th forward on a team in the playoffs, I don't mind that at all. On defense, there's only a couple depth guys. Try to see if you can get something for them. And then you obviously like the real value is going to come in with the guys that are making more money and are more productive, right? Like I think
So
you start. I think you got to have the conversation with Philip Forsberg.
yeah,
Like, and I think it's like maybe with like Yossi, you kind of just wait it out a bit. Like, I don't know. Like, do you think that they should go to the guys they more signed recently first, or is it like the guys that have been there their whole careers in Forsberg and Yossi and Saros? Um, I guess the easiest guy to move quicker is O'Reilly, considering he has no trade protection. And I
yeah,
know they're pretending like he has trade protection. I don't really get
dumbest
it,
thing
but
though ever.
look, I love the guy and he's well respected, but I don't get if that's how you're running your business. But regardless, the problem is Stamkos and Marchessault and Brady Shea have trade protection, right?
Yeah.
So they're harder to move. I wonder if they're already having these conversations with any of them. But I will be honest with you. I don't think Brady Shea is movable. I think that contract's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
don't think any team. I don't think any team would even want to take him on retained. I don't see it for
That kind
six
of
years.
that kind of leads into my point though, where like looking at this team, I think you go and you blow it up, fully blow it up. But then it comes down to you can't trade everybody. Like as much as you would like to trade everybody and get 15 first round picks back, it's not realistic. You can't do that. You need players that are able to play in the lineup, and also you want to have some vets on your team for when these younger guys are in your lineup, right? So it's like Brady Shea, like if you can't trade him and you got to keep him around, if I'm Nashville, man, I'm fine with that. They got like 4 or 5 other guys that they could trade and get a good return for. It's like if you got to keep Brady Shea because of the contract he's on, like if I'm Nashville, I'm okay with that because it's like first of all, we're gonna need to hit the salary floor, so that's gonna help us get there. Second of all, we're gonna need players that can actually play in the NHL. That's gonna help you there. And then the other thing is like you're still gonna want some vets on the team. So it's like if he is, let's say, one of the 2 or 3 kind of guys that they have in that core maybe right now that they're keeping around, like I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I want to go through here their roster here, Mark, and I want to just ask you, would you trade them? Yes or no?
Okay.
Ryan O'Reilly.
100%. I think he's the first guy to be looking to get rid of because I think
Yeah.
centers are hard to come by and they can get value for him. But on the other hand, I will say if they think they're getting a first round pick and an A prospect for him, they can keep him and they can keep dreaming.
Okay. Steven Stamkos.
I would try to move him if I can. Um, and at this point, you made the mistake on the contract. I think you're going to be eating money.
See this the Steven Stamkos one for me. It's like depending on what the return is, I I would
What are you?
try trading
So
him.
what return are you looking for?
It's tough, man. It is tough because
And is there retention in this trade?
How many years does he have left on his deal? Let me take a look here.
3, 2 after this one and
Like
this one.
probably not. They're probably not going to want to retain. For me, it's like the Stamkos one
And
is
there's no
one.
way I'm giving up assets to get him.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? It's like the Stamkos one is probably one where it's like you might as well just keep him and use him as a guy that can, like, unless he asks to be traded. You know what I mean? Like, if for Stamkos, it might be worth it to keep him to fill that hole in the lineup and also be a vet that can kind of help bring these young guys up. Okay, moving on to the next one. Philip Forsberg.
Yeah, I would. I would entertain it, but I mean, like, you got to respect it if he doesn't want to move.
Yep.
But I mean,
That
like, that's probably like that is the trade where you're getting your most value for a player, right? Like
for
that
me,
is where
that's
you're getting. That's where you can ask for your A prospect and
yep.
first round pick and maybe even more. That contract's so manageable. He's only 31. There's 5 years left on the deal. He like I said, he's never really played with elite centermen. Imagine putting him with
Yeah.
an elite centerman.
For me, that's that is the one guy, the main guy in Nashville where I'm like, if he's open to moving on, like I'm really trying to trade him. Eric Holla, you already mentioned he's gone, right? He's a pending UFA. Jonathan Marchessault.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't really mind if he's one of those guys that you said that like kind of stays and whatever. I just
Yeah.
think that he's the guy that you can trade and you're probably not gonna have to retain, right? Like he's only at 5.5. I think the problem with him is he's got the extra year on his deal, so he's got 4 years left till he's 38. I think that like I heard that Montreal was super interested in signing him at the time, but that fifth year really like they were not willing to do it. I don't know if he
Yeah.
would have gone there if they offered it to him, but so I don't know if other teams feel the same about that. But I mean, he's kind of struggling, right? But I feel like if he had a change of scenery, like I feel like he could get back to like 50 points, dude.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he could get back to 25 if he's on a different team. So like I'd be willing to do it for sure, but I kind of agree with you that I feel like either Stamkos or Marchessault is not going to get moved, one of them. And I think it's going to be
Yeah.
one of those guys that ends up staying. Like I don't think all of these guys are getting moved, but I
I'm with you
would
on
be
that
open
too.
to it. I'm open to it. If I'm the GM, why not? Because it's not like you can't trade all of them and get some vets back or a bad contract back. Like,
Yeah.
what if you're moving Stamkos for another guy who's not on a good deal? Maybe you can get value then, right? Like,
And then that's about it on their forward core, like Michael Bunting as well, as you mentioned earlier. Moving on to their D core, like Roman Yossi, you kind of mentioned
he's
you'd
probably the
explore it, but
last guy I'm asking. I'm probably just like,
yeah,
we want to keep you, but like, do you want to go? Right? Like, dude, he is 35,
yeah.
right? Like
And
it's
then
like, does he want a chance to win somewhere? Like you kind of gotta. I feel like you owe it to him for what he's done to for the organization to at least have the conversation and not put pressure on like we're wanting to move you. It's just like, do you want to go? You know?
and then after that, I don't think there's really anybody on their D core that has a whole ton of value that would really be fully worth trading, to be honest.
No, you just brought in Hag and Perbix. You keep those guys.
Yeah. And then the last guy I wanted to ask you about was UC Soros.
See, that's kind of interesting to me because
You could get a haul,
it's like,
dude.
yeah, but the thing is, his numbers have really looked kind of not good the past year and a half because of the team he's on. He hasn't been playing like the same caliber goalie either, but I mean, you could put him in a different team and he could kind of turn it around, maybe, right? Like he's shown that capability. The one thing that makes it very difficult for me is that if you still do some sort of retool, build, whatever you want to call it, he could still be there by the end of it. And you just gave up a goalie prospect, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's what's kind of unless honestly, I would say keep him unless you get an insane offer.
Okay.
Like
See,
if you're getting the first round pick and a prospect for him, I'd say maybe do pull the trigger. But if I would say anything less than that, I don't know. I don't know if I would do it unless he wants to move. I just goalies are so hard to come by, dude, and they don't have one in their system really. I do like Matt Murray, the younger Matt Murray,
Matt
not the
Murray,
same
yeah.
who came out of college a couple of years ago. And I think he could potentially be an NHL goalie, but I think he's probably looking more like a 1B type. So it's like that's the thing, right? It's like you could get a haul, but like they're also so hard to come by, dude. So it's like, what if they're in a rebuild in 5 years from now? It's like they lack a goalie, right? Like maybe
The
my
other
mind
thing
will
to
change in a
consider,
bit. It's
though,
go ahead,
the,
go
the,
ahead.
the other thing to consider though with that is like I'm very pro you trade UC Saros as soon as possible because the more he keeps on playing like this, I feel like the more his trade value is kind of gonna start to maybe go down. Like I get what you're saying with the whole fact that you got a goalie though right now that you can trust. Like that's very hard to come by in the NHL. But it's like you could get I think they could get a good amount for him back, arguably more than anybody on that team outside of probably Philip Forsberg, right? Like if you trade UC Soros, that like the return you get back there could really jumpstart this rebuild. And then like my whole counter argument to your point that it's like if you are coming out of this rebuild and you don't have a goalie, like who's your guy? It's like at that point UC Soros will be 35. You know what I mean? It's like he's gonna have sat there for 5 years potentially of this rebuild, and then you might have him for what at best 5 more years, like post rebuild. That's if he plays till 40. Like I'd be surprised if he played past 38, to be honest.
You're making very valid points, dude. I think I'm just kind of hesitant at the moment unless you get
Yeah.
your doors blown off on an offer. Um, I think we can all say though the biggest mistake in all of this was trading a scar off, dude.
Yep.
And it's not just because of the play, like the way he's playing this year. I mean, I kind of expected it. I think that he's going to be an elite goalie in the NHL in the future, but it was more how they handled the situation. Like the whole point was he wanted to be in the NHL. It wasn't about I just want to trade. It was that he wanted a chance with Saros, right? Like,
And they won't give it to
and
him.
all they had to do was give him the opportunity as the backup. Because even last year, San Jose, they played him a bit. They sent him down most of the year, called him up here and there, and then now he's ready to go. Like Nashville probably could have handled it the same way. Instead, what they decided to do was sign Scott Wedgwood to a 2 times 1.5, and Askarov's probably sitting there like, okay, so is this guy the backup goalie for 2 more years while Saros is now the goalie and just got an
Yep.
extension as well? Where am I going to come in? I kind of understand that after you're in the minors for a couple of years and have paid your dues development wise. And then they end up trading Askarov, and then 2 months later, they trade Scott Wedgwood, who they just signed for Eustace Annunen, who was probably
Yeah.
worse than Askarov. And the whole decision making in that made no sense. You could have went into this season with Saros and Askarov again, and then you'd have a no brainer. You could make UC Saros available if he wanted to move.
Yep. I think Nashville handled it horribly, which is honestly very weird because it's like UC Saros kind of went through the similar thing when he was playing behind Pekka Rinne, like earlier
There
on.
was
Like
there was nothing in Askarov's ask with the team
it's a tongue
that
twister.
he was like, you need to give me the net right now. I'm the starting goalie. It was more
Yeah.
like, I think I deserve an opportunity in the NHL after this. And you just signed a goalie. And when am I going to get a chance? You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like these players need a path forward sometimes, especially a goalie. Like there needs to be like, all right, it's like you look in Montreal, right? It's like there's Montembeault, there's Dobish. Fowler's like, all right, I can come in and potentially take a job from one of these guys in the next 2 years. And then we might be forced to make a decision of letting a guy walk or trade, whatever. But it's like there's a path. Even like Detroit, Trey Augustine, they got Cam Talbot, they got John Gibson. It's like, all right, Kosa's probably going to go to the NHL next year. Augustine, he'll probably sign, go to the minors for a year or two, but John Gibson will be gone by then. There's a
Yeah.
path for him to play with Kosa in the future, Trey Augustine, right? It's a little bit different for a goalie, dude, because if they don't really see that path, I understand why they're questioning their spot in the organization, right? Because there's
Yeah.
only two of them, right?
Yeah, there's only 64 across all NHL. It's like if you know what I mean, you want to get that shot of being able to play in the NHL and prove yourself at some point. But yeah, for me, when I look at this Nashville Predators team, like yeah, it's time to blow it up. Mark, I want to ask you one last quick question here before we move on to the Olympic part of the podcast. Barry Trotz, does he make it to next year's draft? Yes or no? Or I guess this year's draft, like the 2026 one.
I'm gonna say no. I think they'll give him the season though.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna say he's not there at the draft. Let's move on to the Olympic part of the podcast now. Last weekend we did Canada, their projected roster for the Olympics, or not projected roster, but more the rosters we would bring if we were the GMs. Today we got Team USA, our neighbors to the south. Mark, do you want to get things started here with your lineup, or do you want me to go first?
I can get going here for the USA Olympic roster prediction this week. So I'm just going to go through line by line, just like we did with Canada last week. So for Team USA, the first line, I've got Austin Matthews centering Jack Hughes and Matthew Tkachuk. The second line, I've got Jack Eichel centering Brady Tkachuk and Jake Gensel. The third line, I've got Dylan Larkin centering Kyle Connor and Jason Robertson. And the fourth line, I've got JT Miller centering Matthew Nyes and Matt Boldy.
Yeah.
The two forward scratches are Tage Thompson and Vincent Trocheck. On defense, I've got Quinn Hughes with Adam Fox, Zach Werenski with Charlie McAvoy, and Jacob Slavin with Jake Sanderson. My defense scratches are Brock Faber and Ryan McDonough. And my goalies are Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman.
Okay, that's a pretty good lineup. I do like it. Not gonna lie, our goalies are exactly the same, but I know there's definitely some differences here within our actual lineup. I'll start off with my first line. I got Jack Eichel at center, and on the wings, he's got Brady Tkachuk and Kyle Connor. My second line, I got Matthew Nyes with Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk. I'm calling that the Matthew line. My third line, I got Jake Gensel, Tage Thompson up the center of the ice, and Jack Hughes on the other wing. My fourth line, I got Matt Boldy, Dylan Larkin, and Alex Tuck. And then my two scratches is Vincent Trocheck and Jason Robertson. On defense, I got Quinn Hughes playing with Charlie McAvoy. I got Zach Werenski playing with Brock Faber. I got Jacob Slavin playing with Jake Sanderson. And then I got Adam Fox and Lane Hutson as my other two scratches. Yes, Lane Hutson. I saw your eyes widen there, Mark. And then our goalies, it's the same. Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who the other forward you took that I didn't. Did you take JT Miller or no?
I did not take JT Miller.
Okay, so that is the one forward that I took that you did not. I'm kind of surprised you don't have him in there. I kind of think that you really think with Sullivan being the coach that he's not making the team.
Honestly, like I think he does. I think he will, given the fact that Sullivan's the coach. But like, I rather take Trocheck over him, to be honest. I don't know. Just from what I've seen with JT Miller this season, like he's not impressed me, man. Like, there's points he just seems like he doesn't give a fuck. Like remember the end of Vancouver where it seemed like it was like, holy shit, this looks kind of disastrous. Like, I'm kind of getting those hints again from JT Miller. And it's like, hey, like when he does that in Vancouver, it's like, okay, like I get it. You're in a bad situation. Like, you kind of have that excuse of doing it once, but like now that we're kind of seeing him do it a second time on a whole other team, and I'm kind of like, maybe you're like you know what I mean? It's like maybe he's more of an issue than people kind of make it out to be. To
So
like
who is your fourth line center again? Like right
Dylan
now?
Larkin.
Okay. For me, I was kind of like, I feel like it's going to be JT Miller or Trocheck. Like, I kind of see them both not being in the
Yeah,
lineup at the same time. Um, I'm kind of glad you put Robertson too, because I feel like you can't leave him off the way he's playing. But I also feel like you heard what Bill Guerin said, right? About the small players or no?
I'm kind of miss that.
Oh, really? I'm kind of surprised because they basically asked him about some of the other guys kind of making a surge to make the team that haven't made the team didn't make the team last year, like Caulfield and Keller and
Yeah,
um I think even Lane Hudson, maybe a couple other smaller guys. And he basically said like they're playing great, but like it's gonna be physical. And like he basically I think he said without saying that, like some of these smaller guys aren't gonna get a chance, to
yeah.
be honest, unless it's like Jack Hughes already on the team, right? Like, there's no way he's getting left off. But in my mind, I was just like, all right. I honestly kind of went from Clayton Keller's on the team to Clayton Keller's not on the team.
I
By that comment, to be honest with you,
yeah.
um, who did you wrestle with as like a 13th and 14th forward option, or
For
did you?
me, it was the three guys that I want to mention was JT Miller, Clayton Keller, and Cole Caulfield. Those were the three guys where I was like, I was trying to get them in. At one point, I had Matthew Nyes not on the team and I had one of those guys in. And that at another point, I had Nyes in and Jason Robertson not on the team and one of those three guys in. And then I was like, no, Robo's been off to too good of a start here. You can't have him not on this team, even if he's a
He's
healthy
also a,
scratch.
he's also a big guy too, and they were
Yeah.
basically talking about smaller guys not being as impactful. Um, honestly, my three guys I wrestled with was Tuck, Keller, and I'm gonna be honest with you. My 15th forward option as a sub centerman was Pinto
Yeah.
to
Well,
play a fill-in like fourth line shutdown option.
because the thing about this team too is like they like their centermen are like very good. But like when I was doing this team to compared to the Team Canada team, I'm like, man, you don't
They
really
have
have
less
to
center options.
less center options, and not only that, like less center options that are good fits in the bottom of your lineup. You know what I mean? It's like Dylan Larkin, I trust him playing anywhere in that lineup as a centerman. It's like Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, you're not putting them in the bottom of your lineup. And then it's like, okay, I took Tage Thompson. I'm making him my third line center here. But it's like Tage Thompson, I don't really know if I want him playing on my fourth line, to be honest. So I put him on the third line and put Larkin on the
That's why I
fourth
kind
line.
of wrestled with the whole
Yeah.
JT Miller, Trocheck, Pinto thing, to be honest with you.
For me, I was looking at it like, look, I'm bringing one more centerman, and I think Trocheck, given what he can do on special teams, do as a shutdown guy, like I
Face
gave him a
offs.
slight edge there over JT Miller. And also the fact that
Okay.
there's no worry with Trocheck that he's going to do something dumb where all the rest of the players are going to be looking at it going, why the fuck did you just not back check on a shift? Something like that. It's like you're not going to get that from Trocheck. Who knows? Maybe you get that from JT Miller. It is a little bit of a worry.
So we both had Nelson and Kreider not coming back.
Yeah,
And then you had Miller also not making it for guys up front that made it last year. Looking at defense, mine was basically the same, except no Hannafin. Sanderson was obviously a fill-in. I think he's more of a lock to make the team than Hannafin.
yeah,
And I had Ryan McDonough as my eighth guy. I'll be honest, he's been hurt a bit this year, but I do think that he plays at a very high level still. And
yeah,
I would say that Okay, imagine Slavin is the guy that goes down and gets hurt, right? Who is really that guy that's going to fill that role?
What I would do is I would play Faber and Sanderson together in that situation, and then I'd put in Adam Fox and play him with Zach Werenski. Looking at my team, that's what I would do.
Okay. But I mean, I just more was thinking of like they can get another veteran guy to come
Yeah,
in and still play at a really good level. He might not even play very much, if at all. But I just feel like they might be lacking that veteran presence back there if they lose, like if they end up losing a guy like Slavin. And let's be real, dude, Slavin's been hurt like the whole year so far, right? Um, so that was kind of my mentality about that. I understand there's different ways you could have went about it talent wise, but I was more thinking about, okay, Canada, like Doughty is that guy for me, right?
yeah,
Like, if Slavin isn't healthy or does get hurt, McDonough kind of fills that role to a lesser extent, but he blocks shots. You know what I mean? He's fully committed to defense. He plays it at an elite level still. And if you put a guy who could skate really well with him, I'm not really concerned much about the skating, to be quite honest with you. So, I feel like he's a guy, he's also been to the Olympics. Like he was there in 2014, right? Like he's a veteran. He's
yeah.
won Stanley Cups. Like I feel like he might not be getting enough um, talked about enough about maybe making the team. And I honestly think that he's in consideration because other guys I looked at were like John Carlson. Like I was looking at maybe Seth Jones. Do they
Yeah.
bring back Hannafin? Um, or is it like maybe Lacombe or Hudson? Like I didn't really know, and I just kind of came to the conclusion that they maybe lack a little bit of veteran presence back there. Like their guys are great and they have experience in the NHL, but this is also a guy that's been to the Olympics, right? Before, so he could even be a good like locker room guy, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely tough doing this lineup. Like, if I'm being honest, I think it was at a tougher time doing the Team USA lineup compared to the Team Canada lineup. I think the Team Canada lineup, it was like there were some guys I was really considering, but it was like maybe it was like maybe two or three guys that I was kind of considering that I left off. Where for the Team USA lineup, especially the forward group, it was like, it's like, man, like nobody's talked about Logan Cooley. You know what I mean? It's like Logan Cooley's a guy that I kind of was like, do I have him on my team? And then I'm like, man, I can't put him on my team. And not only that, there was like kind of like four guys that didn't make the team that I'd probably put on over him. But you know what I mean? Like I think for the USA one, there's so many forwards that it really made it tough doing the forward group for Team USA. Mark, let's move on to the final segment of the show. It's the NHL Trivia. Do you want me to start off guessing? I think I want to start off guessing because I heard you're about to sewer me here.
I don't
That's
know
what
if it's
the
sewering you because
rumor
okay, you're
going
gonna
on
have
is.
options. You're gonna have options to guess, but man, I was kind of surprised when I was kind of looking up some stats yesterday. Did you know so far this season in the NHL that 17 goalies have an assist?
I did not know that.
17 different goalies. And I'm
That's
going to give you 90 seconds to name as many of them as you can.
okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready now.
You're going.
Stolars,
Nope.
Wool,
Nope.
Vasilevsky,
Nope.
Swayman,
Nope.
Corpusalo,
Nope.
Wedgwood,
Yes.
Blackwood,
No.
Soros,
No.
Annunen,
No.
Ottinger,
No.
um, Dustin Wolf,
No. Actually.
Stuart Skinner,
No.
Devin Cooley.
No. Wow.
Um,
You have 35 seconds.
Alex Nedeljkovic.
Um, no, actually, that is super surprising. Actually, yes, sorry, he does. Yes.
Okay, Spencer Knight.
Spencer Knight, yes.
I
20
think, what is
seconds.
that, 3 I got right now?
Yeah, you're at 3 or 4.
Bob.
Yes.
Okay. Who else? Who else?
10 seconds.
Thatcher Demko.
No. Give you one more guess.
One more guess. I'm trying to think of guys I haven't said now. Um, Shesty.
No, I cannot believe that. All right. So the 17 goalies: Colton Ellis, Brandon Bussey, Spencer Knight, Scott Wedgwood, Elvis Merzlikins, Cam Talbot, John Gibson, Bobrovsky, Markstrom, Shilovs, Nedeljkovic, Joey Decord, Binnington, Vemelka, Vanacek, Lankinen, and Logan Thompson. I could not believe that 20 something
It's
games into
crazy.
the season, 17
Yeah.
17 goalies have an assist. I also found out that your task for next week is going to be something on this season too with goalies. So I'm
Oh,
going to
hell
just
no.
say that. But that I cannot believe how poorly that went for you, considering
Yeah. Not the
17
greatest.
out of 17 out of 70. Like, it's not great odds, but I mean, you said some pretty good names that weren't on the list. To be
Yeah.
honest, like guesses that I would have made as well.
I was trying to think of guy. My original thought with it was like, I want to go on guys that are on high scoring teams because it was like, that's probably more likely to happen.
Yeah, well,
But
Blackwood though, I mean, he's only played like 5 games, but like
yeah.
you did guess Wedgwood, so
Okay, Mark, my trivia for you today. We're starting to do the Olympic talk, so I want to stay on the Olympic kind of thought of mind. My trivia for you today is I want you to name the top 5 scorers from the 2010 Olympic Games.
oh my god. Okay.
Might be tough, but I believe in you. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the timer.
I'm ready to go.
Timer starts now.
Sid,
No,
Patrick Kane,
no,
Ryan Kessler,
no.
Zach Parise,
Yep, he was third.
Drew Doughty,
Nope,
Joe Thornton,
nope,
Ginla,
no.
Taves,
Yep, he was fifth.
Timu Solani,
No,
um, Datsuk.
no,
I'm trying to think of more guys on Canada. Pronger, Niedermeyer, any of those?
nope.
USA, Patty Kane. Why am I blanking on their team? I said Doughty. Jeff Carter,
No. Okay,
Rick Nash,
no, you got 20 seconds. You got one American, two Slovaks.
2 Slovaks, 1 American.
Yep.
Marian Hossa,
Yes, he was two.
um, American. I don't know that. I'm not gonna know the American. The fuck's the other Slovak? Chara?
Okay, timer's up. It was not Chara. It was Pavel Demetria.
Oh crap. Okay.
And he actually led the Olympics in scoring with 10 points. Hossa was second. Zach Parise was third, who you got. Fourth, the guy you were missing, Brian Rafalski.
Fuck, I never would have got that.
Neither would I. Neither would have I. He was 36 at the time and he had 8 points. And then Jonathan Tays was fifth, who you got as well. And then after that, you named again, like you got a bunch of guys who would have been within the top 10 with again Crosby, I think you said. I don't know if you said Getzlov or not, but
No, I didn't say him. I said
yeah,
Kessler.
I was looking at these Olympics. I was like, oh man, that's surprising. the top five. I would have expected maybe some more Canadians and Americans to be in there, but I guess not. Patrick Kane, 5 points he had in 6 games. Pretty try to take a
For
look
some
at some
reason,
other.
I thought Ryan Kessler had a really good Olympics, to be honest, but
Let me see where he's at on here.
maybe he just played a big role for them and he didn't really get a lot of points.
Did Kessler play at the 2014 Olympics or no?
Maybe he didn't play at the 2010 Olympics.
Because I'm trying to
I
find
feel
it
like
on
I'm
here.
getting them mixed up. They're both so long ago at this point. I was just kind of happy I was naming guys on the roster.
Ryan Kessler did play, but he had 2 points in 6 games.
Oh, okay. At least he was on the team, dude.
Yeah, at least he was on the team.
Rick
Kessel, I
Nash,
forgot he was at
Niemeyer.
those Olympics. Yeah,
Was he?
man,
Wow.
the Olympic talk. I'm just starting to. Well, the craziest part is on the website I'm on. It shows you the age of how old they were when they played at the Olympics, and when I look at it, it says like Jonathan Toews was 21. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Holy crap. The guy's like, what, 37 now? Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's retired and came
time
back, and
flies. That was a good
overall
one, though,
though,
duh. That was
yeah,
a good
no,
one.
I like the Olympic one. I was like, I want to stay with the Olympic talk. You know, get going on the Olympics. We're just coming up and coming up on it. Overall, though, that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Point2Point NHL Recap Show. We'll be back next week, maybe doing Sweden, Finland, one of the other countries for the Olympic talk, and of course talking about the NHL as well. So stay tuned for that. But for everybody tuning in right now, thanks for tuning in.